All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to another session of the Data Science Clinic. So, today we're going to talk about artificial intelligence for complete beginners. So, just want to make sure that you can hear me loud and clear. Okay, and you can see my screen, yeah? All right, so today we're going to talk about artificial intelligence or AI for complete beginners. I think this is pretty important in the sense that now that we are towards the end of 2020, I believe that a lot of your plans have been, I would say a lot of the plans have been disrupted in a way, right? So, ever since I think 2 3 years ago, the hottest buzzword in the industry has been AI, right? But every time when people talk about AI, there are a lot of perception, there are a lot of different opinions, right? I would say, right? Some people will think that AI is about machine learning, and then some people will think that would say that AI is the new electricity, and then data is the new oil. But oftentimes, what happens is that people didn't really know what AI is actually is, and then what some of you might be aware of the use cases of AI, meaning that where you can apply AI or where AI is applied, but you didn't really know how is AI's those AI applications created. Okay, so today we're going to answer these sort of questions. Okay, now first of all, when we talk about AI, right, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? Is that the driverless cars? Is that the Iron Man, for example, things like that, or is just maybe some computer games that you have played, or you use Photoshops and then they are able to automatically edit the photos for you, right? All of these are applications. All right, AI in layman terms is basically just applications of machine learning algorithms or machine learning models. So in a nutshell, AI is to we teach a machine, right? It doesn't necessarily needs to be a computer. For example, I can say that my car has AI. I can say that PS5 has AI. I can say that Xbox has AI. So it's basically just how we teach a computer to do some work or make some decisions for human without the intervention of human, or with very little. Yeah. uh, Broadly speaking, AI can be categorized into two broad classifications. So first one is artificial general intelligence, or AGI. The other one is artificial narrow intelligence, or ANI. So first, let's talk about what is artificial general intelligence. So the common one, right? Artificial general intelligence is like basically they can do things without human, or in a way, right? It can do things better than human, if you want to put it that way. For example, this robot Pepper, it can talk to you, it can remember a lot of things, and then it can have a proper conversations, and you can instruct him or her to do some tasks, right? To perform some tasks, and yeah, that you want them to perform. So this is a robot, right? AI robot. Another more common one that you have seen, I think you would have remember, is this one, right? This is from the uh, Iron Man. Yeah, I think this is Jarvis, right? His personal assistant. So what this guy will do, of course, is a movie, yeah. But basically, it can do a lot of stuff, and you can use it um, for for fighting, and then you can use it for different things, yeah, basically. And last but not least is Minority Report. So Minority Report, you can see that Tom Cruise uses an interface, interact with his gestures, right? Basically his fingers lah. But I've done something similar to this before. So basically, it's a gesture based control that you can zoom in, zoom out, and then move things around on the screen. Yeah. But some of these are doable. For example, Minority Report is definitely doable, and you just need a special cameras array. You need more than one cameras to look at to detect your gestures from top, bottom, and the side, and then but you need a special glove as well. Okay, I've done this before, but what I want to tell you is that all of these so-called AI that you know, right? They're actually just UI. Okay, they're basically just user interface. So most of it you see in the movies are more of a user interface and UI. So on different ways of computers human interaction. For example, like Minority Report, or if you look at Pepper, right? So or even like chatbots, for example, is basically just when you speak to instead of touching a button, or instead of touching the screen for touch screen, right? You basically do it via different way of input. So this is what we call the user interface. So the way that a human interface with a computer is different. Okay, so this is the picture of AI that many people paint for you. Okay, whenever you go for a conference or whatsoever, they paint a picture of AI for you, but it's actually just UI. Okay, this is the first thing that I want you to remember. Now, let's talk about artificial narrow intelligence. This is something that a lot of people they talk about. We are using it in our real life, but then to make things cool, right? So people usually just blur the line between AGI and ANI. But what you usually see is more of an application of ANI. For example, driverless car or self-driving car. So based on a lot of sensors, like you have weather sensors, you have cameras, you have road sensors, and then you can detect the line, etc. These are the type of sensors that collect the information around the car and then pass it to the car's model to make decisions. So this is driverless car. And this is artificial narrow intelligence. Artificial narrow intelligence means that it's doing something very specific. So driving is a specific application, and the engine of or the models of this particular product cannot be used for other things. Like say if Tesla has a very good ANI AI, right? But you want to take this and put it into, let's say, Sophia. Okay, and you can't do that. You have to retrain the entire model for Sophia over again. So Sophia is a real life artificial robot. Yeah. So it's different from, it's using a totally different algorithms, totally different features, totally different machine learning methods to get there. All right, to build Sophia. So the characteristic of ANI that's different from AGI is that AGI is supposed to be a single machine that can do a lot of things, but ANI is a single machine that is good for one specific use case application only. All right. So the next one is very popular. I think a lot of people have seen this before, which is the chatbot. So chatbot is a specially trained chatting machine. So it's based on text, based on the user input. So a lot of people didn't realize, right? They think that, oh, Google Home, Alexa, or even Siri is very cool, right? Actually, these are also chatbots. It's just that the way that you interact with the chatbots are different. So instead of, again, like I say, right, instead of just typing and then just clicking buttons here and there, instead of speaking right to Siri, and then you just type and then or press some buttons to interact with the engine. And another use case example will be AlphaGo. So it's a machine that is specialized in playing chess. Is super good in playing chess. But if you take these to the other use cases, right, then you cannot use it anymore. So a machine that is trained to play chess cannot be used to drive a car. Okay, so what I want to what I want you to remember is ENI, all right. Artificial narrow intelligence is the computer's ability to perform a single task extremely well. So if you remember the AlphaGo, right? When we try to play chess with AlphaGo, yeah, it beats human. Usually, when AI beats human, there's no point of that's a point of no return basically. So if they beat human once, and that's about it. And you can see that in AlphaGo, you can see that in driverless car, and you can see that in chatbots as well, right? So chatbots right now, the problem is not about chatbots, it's about the context. So uh, out of all these applications that I mentioned, I think chatbot is the one that is still furthest from human, because a lot of things like emotions, context, it still cannot be achieved. But apart from that, say for example things like memorizing things. So let's say you have 1 million products that you need to remember the price, like Amazon, Lazada or Shopee, right? Yeah, the chatbot can remember everything, but you can't, right? As a human, we can't, and we cannot beat them no matter what. Okay, so as a beginner, right, what matters to you? So as a beginner, if you need to move into AI, right, or as a beginner, no matter what field you're from finance, you're from engineering, you're from accounting, you're from medical, what do you need to know apart from the first thing I want you to remember, which is artificial intelligence can be categorized into artificial general intelligence and artificial narrow intelligence, right? So you need to understand there are two types of AI machines out there. And another thing that you need to know is the relationships between AI, machine learning, and deep learning. This is something that you often hear as well. So AI is basically just techniques that allow machines to mimic human behavior. Okay, once again, AI is just applications. It's just the applications of machine learning. So we basically develop some techniques that allow machines to mimic human behavior. But the core engine of AI is actually machine learning. So machine learning is nothing special, but it's just a set of computer programs, statistical approaches that allow machines to learn and improve with experience. So we need to keep providing the machines with training data, and then with more data that we provide, we expect the machines to perform better. So let me give you an example, right? Let's say I want to do a project that help me to recognize objects on the road while building a driverless car. So I need to keep providing the machines with different objects, the pictures of different objects that can occur, or that will that you can see on the road, basically. And then from there, right, there are different types of objects. So and the more pictures that you provide to the machine, the better the machine become. Okay, and through that is a use case of computer vision. We can also use a similar approach to build our chatbots. So we can pass the machines all the chats that we have been using in our company, and then from our human operators, and then the machine can learn and improve from there. Another concept or another term that you always hear is what we call the deep learning. Deep learning is actually a specialized machine learning techniques that use neural network. So it's a subset of machine learning. And when do you need deep learning? You need deep learning when your current machine learning algorithms, let's say the common one, like for example logistic regressions, linear regressions, decision trees, random forests, they are unable to handle the amount of data, the use case that we provide. Okay, then we go in, we further go on to use deep learning to help us to achieve that. And deep learning is just a name. Basically is neural network. Alright, so this is the relationship between AI, machine learning, and deep learning, and all three of them fall under the umbrella of data science. Okay, now as a beginners, right, after you have understand this concept, how are you going to apply this to your work? I think this is something that matters to you the most. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to talk about is how is this going to affect, or how can you apply this to your industry? Okay, so let's look at the future of data analytics. At the very beginning, when we make decisions, okay, no matter what we do, when we make decisions, is basically just a reactive process. So this is basically how animals and humans learn, right? If you can see from the picture, so it's just a monkey. So if you want to learn about something, let's say you have a baby, right, and then the baby wants to learn how to crawl, so the baby will just crawl everywhere that he or she can reach, and then try and error, try to make some mistakes, so they fall down, and then after fall down a couple of times, then they will realize that, hey, this is not the right way to walk, this is not the right way to crawl, but they wouldn't understand or wouldn't be able to extract some rules by themselves. It's mainly through try and error, right? Like for example, driving as well. Driving, you have some laws and rules and regulation, but most people, when they learn how to drive, they do not learn the mechanics of a car, right? They basically just learn how to operate the car. So it's a reactive process, and a lot of time it involves muscle memory. So once we progress, the second stage of data analytics is we become slightly better. So we use data, and it help us to improve our accuracy and reduce the error rate. So we assume last year's or last month's demand will occur again this month. So this is a very naive, okay, type of analysis and naive type of prediction. So by doing this, right, if no major events happen, okay, if nothing major happens, then you can assume that last year's or last month demand value will occur again this month. So this also requires a bit of domain knowledge, right? Whether this month will follow last month's sales is because of your company's growth. So if your company have been growing consistently at, let's say, 5%, then this month's growth supposed to be another 5%. But you also need to look at the data from last year, because seasonality plays a role too. And as we so the error rate reduced to 60%, and the accuracy become 40%. And then we become a little bit better. We increase our performance slightly, and it becomes 50-50. So we can use some tools, say for example Excel, and we can feed a forecast curve to historical demand quantity. So not just pure guessings or based on some naive observations, right? We really utilize some tools, and then we incorporate seasonality, trend data, and moving average into our model, into our decision making process. And as we get better, our error rate reduce. So now we know how to use tools already, and we know how to identify the cause and effects, and we incorporate this into our forecast models, and then we can use that to predict something that has finer grain, meaning that is no longer just last year, last month, last season. Okay, we can statistically predict up to monthly or weekly demand patterns. So this is how we have improved, and 30% error rate and 70% accuracy. And if you notice, there's a line here. It becomes a nightmare to manage in Excel, because Excel can no longer handle that amount of large data and take into account of different cause and effects. And once we become better, then you know that we are going to include techniques that are usually associated with short-term demand sensing to dramatically increase long-term accuracy, and we leverage more granular and downstream data to get cleaner signals and reduce volatility or bullwhip effect. So what it means here is that we have a much better model already. So this is very close to, we're trying to teach a machine or the AI to be as close to as human, right? This is the entire process. And now the error rate is about 15%. Well, in sales prediction, I don't think this is terrible. Yeah, 85% accuracy is pretty good. Yeah, but still, this is not what we want, right? Ultimate goal is to take and let the machines to do their work for us. Okay, so 90% accuracy, take advantages of extended and even big data. So, for example, we look into the sales of the macro effects of the sales of the whole country, or we look at social media chatters, social media informations, or unstructured data. And techniques wise, we rely on powerful models and demand drivers like promotion details, new product information, etc. Okay, so to recap, I've shared with you what is AI. So as a beginner, you need to know AI has two parts, right? Artificial narrow intelligence and also artificial general intelligence. Artificial narrow intelligence is for you to perform specific use case, like drive a car, play chess with you. And artificial general intelligence is about general use case. Basically, we just those things that you have seen in the movies or some people have been promoting to you, but we're still very far from that. Okay, so artificial general intelligence, whatever you see now is basically just a user interface. And the second thing I want you to know is the relationship between AI, machine learning, and deep learning. AI is basically just a term to describe the use case applications of machine learning, and as a beginner, you really need to learn machine learning, and then when the current machine learning models is unable to handle those workload and models, right? Then we go for deep learning. Okay, and last but not least is the different types of the data analytics. So identify where you are right now. Okay, these are not you, by the way. These are your models. These are your AI. Okay, and then the ultimate goal is to improve the accuracy so that they can behave as much as like a human or better than a human, and reduce the error rate. All right, thank you very much, and let's see if there's any questions. Morning, Ashish and Ashwaf. All right, so if there's any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section, and I'll address them even after the live. Yeah, thank you very much, and then I'll see you in the next week Data Science Clinic. Bye for now.